Morning, everyone. Thank you very much to Travelport for giving me the opportunity to share our experiences with Universal Desktop. Flight Centre globally has over 9,000 travel agents utilising Universal Desktop.
Universal Desktop for us is much more than just a single agent desktop tool. It's actually the foundation of our open platform.
Globally, it's literally the whole of Flight Centre other than the USA, so the whole of Australia, the UK, New Zealand, Canada, as well as South Africa, all on Universal Desktop.
And this is a fundamental shift in the way that we deliver products than the way we've historically done that. And this is about componentizing key pieces of our product technology and delivering them in a way that can be used not only by our travel agent community, but also by third-party developers through them connecting to these components, and also through the likes of OTAs who equally want to be able to get access to these kinds of capabilities.
It's a seamless booking experience for our consultants, for them to be able to book, quote and finish a transaction for any travel requirements. I'd just like to give you a brief introduction. I've been with Flight Centre for 12 years. I started off as a travel consultant in Brooklyn Square in Pretoria. Thereafter, I became a team leader of the branch. Thereafter, for 4 years, I was the area leader for the Pretoria area, Nelspruit and Bloemfontein. And then I took on the general manager position for Flight Centre, Student Flights, Travel Associates and Cruiseabout. And for the past 4 years, I've been managing director for Flight Centre South Africa. In my experiences as a travel consultant, this would have revolutionized the way I sold travel. So it gives me pleasure to really go through and share the Travelport experiences. I've also added a little bit of live information from our current travel experts in Flight Centre. I've also asked them to comment about it because just as much as it's my truth, it's their truth at the end of the day. They use the system, they face the system every single day, and they were part of the change management process for Flight Centre overall. So, as Lizelle has mentioned, for her it was the multiple airport searches, the complexity, and what Universal Desktop has done for her from an air routing perspective. Eben, which is quite interesting. In fact, he mentions there he could teach his gran how to utilize Universal Desktop. That's quite exciting. We could have perhaps older individuals in the travel industry too. So, just to give you a little bit of a background, in 2011, Flight Centre had an aggressive focus in terms of increasing the travel experts' productivity. And our main expectations and outcomes was to ensure our customers love what we do and our people do what they love. So what we had looked at, we had identified key challenges that we needed to focus on. And I guess the main points that I've put up there were those key challenges. First and foremost, the information overload for our travel experts. Second of all, our customers have become more informed than our consultants. The other part was, due to this, our novices, their consulting and their expertise started declining due to all of this information overload. And then lastly, as an organisation, we had to genuinely cement the relevance of the travel agent. If we look at the productivity per person, overall, since our rollout in November 2011, we've had a 15% increase in productivity per person. But the biggest highlight has also been our novice average commission. Our novice average commission has grown 12% and is the highest since 2008. So what that means is all our new consultants that have joined, and they've been fully trained just on UD, and the productivity that we've seen and that they've achieved has been the highest since then. So it's quite exciting. So Tanya is one of our successful team leaders at our Rosebank branch. What's interesting about Tanya, and I guess this was a learning and a lesson for us, at the end of the day, the team leaders and their ownership with regards to this change management is vital to the success of the deployment of this new system. And with Tanya championing Universal Desktop, she has proven great successes in her business as well as for her consultants within the team. Atalia is from our Belito branch, and I guess why I have her up in the presentation is our regionals. It was pretty easy to get our regionals to actually understand the system. Because the system is user-friendly, we didn't have to spend too much money to send down training experts for UD. The system itself assisted our regional stores in becoming the experts for the system. So the fundamental changes in solving our productivity challenges started in 2011. At the end of November 2011, we deployed Universal Desktop within all our Flight Centre branches. That was across 600 individuals, so 600 travel experts. The ownership from our senior leaders, being the SWAT members, was integral, and I guess this was the learning curve for us as a SWAT team. I personally can sit and quote on Universal Desktop, and so can the rest of my executive team. I think it was a fundamental change for us to be part of this change management rather than depict and tell our consultants to just take on the system and this is our global approach. The other parts of it was the navigating travel options was completely different. So we had to relook at our training and how we actually trained our new consultants and our existing consultants. This was fundamental. Why? Because our training changed from being a systems training to more of a customer experience training and more of an expertise training. This genuinely assisted our consultants in being more confident in selling, but also at the same time in giving a great customer experience to our customers. The Universal Desktop is fast, and as Jason showed, it's fast, it's efficient, and it's accurate. And I guess as a travel consultant, as a new generation, you would want to know that what you're utilizing is something that's going to give you the outputs that is 110% as accurate as possible. And then the last point is Universal Desktop is highly effective for new consultants and old consultants by being able to deliver a superior customer experience while dealing with complexity. And I guess this was quite a fundamental change, not only for the new consultants and experts, but also for the older experts, for those doing multi-routes, multi-stops, not just the normal point-to-point, the round the worlds, the really intricate and complex itineraries is pretty easy to do on UD. Joanne, also from our Belita branch, her main outcome, or what she's received from Universal Desktop, is the fact that it's quick and easy passenger criteria management. So all the passenger profiling is accurate and is better. Then we have Lauren, who really has shown the productivity gains within her team. She really points out there again the multiple airline options and being able to quote and give out dates for travel in one click. And then just lastly, the outcomes that we've achieved from a Flight Centre perspective. And I guess as a SWAT team, prior to us deploying the system, we sat down and we looked at it and we said, right, for us to ensure we deploy this as best as possible, we need some key KPIs, key performance indicators to say what tells us the system is working for us, what's the empirical evidence, and how will this drive our business forward. So we predetermined this as an executive team, and I'm quite confident and happy to note the outcomes that we've achieved through the deployment of Universal Desktop. The key outcomes and objectives was clearly owned, clearly delivered, and clearly understood by the executive team. We've shown a 15% increase in productivity overall. Our novice commission average has increased from 12% versus last year and is the highest since 2008. Our retail trading profits has increased by 48%. We undertook in 2011 to really focus on the productivity and expertise of our consultants. So I genuinely do believe that this aided the process. And from a percentage perspective, how much did UD add to it? Well, I can confidently say at least 60 to 65% was partly that, because this process disciplined our sales consultants. You know, we don't expect our consultants to be processors. We never have. And this just cemented that fact and made sure that they really owned the whole process. They owned the customer and the data and the experience at the same time. As of November, our usage on the new Universal Desktop interface versus Galileo terminal is now over 80% usage. That's over 650 consultants. The ability to book, quote, and transact with a customer with a private fare takes us now 11 minutes versus doing all of the whole transaction, which takes on average, a good consultant who's been around perhaps 2 years, takes about 35 minutes. Our sales staff are more focused on the customer sales experience. They're less system focused, and what it has done for us from a Flight Centre brand perspective, it has created a one best way with our customers and a one best way with our consultants. Our customers are all more confident in our sales expertise. We have seen a 15% increase in conversion and closed files. And lastly, our training is more focused on the customer sales process. So we focus more on the consultant's customer and their ability and capability to sell travel, their ability and capability to close the booking with the customer, but also to share their expertise with the customer. And that's what we specifically focus with in our training. Looking back and comparing Galileo with Universal Desktop and the training, using Universal Desktop has caught up with the 21st century of click and go. New agents feel confident from day one. And that's pretty much what it is. The new age to the travel industry is important, but at the same time, it's imperative for us to open up the world for those who want to see. And bringing a tried and tested system into Flight Centre has really assisted us in achieving our outcome of our customers love what we do and our people do what they love. This is the new generation, so you are dealing with fast and efficient travel. Our customers are expecting things yesterday. So in terms of efficiency and experiencing a seamless travel transaction with our consultants, it's integral to have this type of system.
The key thing here is that we build it out of the same common components. The old Travelport way was that we'd have a new idea and we'd go and create something new and it would sort of live in its own independent world. And that's not the world we operate in now. It's about using these shared components and delivering these things on top of that. And obviously working with third parties to get those advantages is super important.
We've invested a lot of time and effort in the system, but at the same time, we've seen a lot of outputs that has benefited the organisation. So I definitely would recommend it, whether it's for a business agency, TMC or leisure. It is a really, really productive system.
We're investing heavily in tools to make you successful. Our multi-million-dollar investments in Universal Desktop over the last 3 years are all about making you more successful in the future and then being able to deliver traveller profile tools that you can brand as your own and allow the travellers to update those things themselves.
Just to kind of put it in context, what we noticed is when they were using Galileo, they felt they were productive. I mean, I remember myself, 15 March, Joburg, London, display BA. That feels productive, and I guess we had to change our training in such a way that it's okay not to tap. You can now click and you can have a conversation with the customer. So I guess that's what we dealt with.
Yeah.
I personally got involved. I made sure my executive team got involved. We went to buzz nights, road shows, and really had a cup of coffee with our most senior to help them understand that this will fundamentally change their productivity and their earning capacity down the line. Travelport really understands the culture within Flight Centre. They understand our vision as an organisation. They understand our outcomes as well, and they pretty much really look at each of our requirements and adapt it accordingly to what we require. And that's why we genuinely believe Travelport is a great fit for Flight Centre.